Hi there, welcome back. I'm on page 13 of the textbook. We are up to the writing exercise that goes with the American flag. And I had promised to tell you about the 13 colonies because this is something that you may see on a social studies test that you would be expected to know as a high school graduate. So let's talk about the 13 colonies. And we're also going to use all of those grammar rules that we've learned so far. So let me read through this passage the way it's written. And you're going to notice that there is no punctuation. There are no full stops, there are no end marks of any kind, no commas, no capital letters. It's just a big mass of words. So I'm going to read this passage the way it's written. And this is probably going to get on your nerves because there is no punctuation. It's written as a mess. So here we go. Just follow along with me. This is called the 13 Colonies. Before there were 50 states, there were 13 colonies. The colonies were the first British settlements in North America. The first colony was established in 1587, but it did not survive. The first surviving colony was Jamestown, Virginia in 1606. The 13 original colonies were Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. That gets on my nerves reading it because there's nowhere to stop. It's just a big soup pot full of words. So we're going to fix this paragraph and we're going to write it correctly, and then I will read it for you the way it should be. But let's go through here and do our proofreading, and then we'll take a look at writing it correctly. So I'm going to get my red pen and I'm going to start with this title. I know that the first, last, and all important words in a title should be capitalized. I know that the first word of a sentence should be capitalized. Here's the number 50. Remember, if it's 2 digits, I'm allowed to use the numeral. I don't have to spell it out. Okay, here's the word 13. I can spell it out or I can leave it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in this one. Before there were 50 states, that's an introductory phrase. So we're going to put a comma there. There were 13 colonies, full stop. And then we capitalize after a full stop. The colonies were the first British. That comes from Britain, so that needs to be capitalized. In North America, that is a continent. It needs to be capitalized. Full stop. The first colony was established in 1587. Okay, here's one of those connector words, so I need to be careful about commas. The first colony was established in 1587. It did not survive. This is a compound sentence because I am joining two complete thoughts right there. So we need a comma. Capitalize first word. The first surviving colony was Jamestown, Virginia in 1606. Jamestown is a city, comma, state. And remember, if that's in the middle of a sentence, we need the second comma and a full stop. The 13 original colonies were Virginia, that needs to be capitalized. New York, capitalized. Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Here's a connecting word, so that needs to make me think of commas. We need to put a full stop. Okay, this list has 13 items. Remember, we use commas if we have 3 or more. So, I'm going to go back. There's Virginia, that's a state. New York is a state. Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, that goes together. Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and Georgia. But the last comma is after Pennsylvania. So we have a lot of work to do in this paragraph. This is full of errors. So let me get my black pen back and we'll come down here and start rewriting this correctly. So let's come down to this line, and I'm going to start with my title, which is the 13 Colonies. You could get away with using a numeral there, but I like to spell it out since it's the title. It doesn't matter though. Okay, remember our first line we indent about an inch, so we move over, start with a capital letter. Before there were 50 states, comma, that's an introductory phrase. There were 13 colonies, full stop. And you can use the numeral or you can spell it out, whichever you want to do. Full stop after colonies. Leave a little bit of space and capitalize. The colonies were the first. British is a proper adjective, so we're going to capitalize British. Settlements in North America. North America is a proper noun, so we need to capitalize that also. You always capitalize America. Full stop. The first colony was established in 1587. Now I could put a full stop there, but I decided not to. I'm going to make this a compound sentence. So instead of a full stop, I'm going to put a comma and one of my conjunctions, the word but. It did not survive, full stop. Okay. Capitalize. The first surviving colony was Jamestown, Virginia. Jamestown is a city, so we need a comma before the state. And since this is in the middle of our sentence, we need a comma after the state. In 1606, full stop. The 13 original colonies were, and here comes this very long list: Virginia, comma, New York, comma, make sure you're capitalizing all these because they're proper nouns, Massachusetts, and be careful with your spelling. You can look up there to see how to spell it correctly, comma, Maryland. You don't want to squeeze words in. If you're running out of room, go to the next line. Rhode Island, that's one state, so it goes, you don't put a comma between Rhode and Island. You put the comma after island. Be careful with Connecticut. It doesn't sound the way it's spelled. Spell the word connect, icut, Connecticut. New Hampshire, comma, Delaware, North Carolina, those go together, so you don't put a comma between North and Carolina, comma, South Carolina, my hand is hurting, guys, I'm tired of writing, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and here comes the final one, and Georgia. Full stop. Remember, these colonies still belonged to England. They were not free states until after the American Revolution. So these were colonies, but they were still British citizens. Okay, I need to read my passage again to be sure I didn't leave anything out. I want you to listen to my voice when I come to punctuation marks. You can hear the punctuation if this is done correctly. So here is the new paragraph that we have written correctly. The 13 colonies. Before there were 50 states, there were 13 colonies. The colonies were the first British settlements in North America. The first colony was established in 1587, but it did not survive. The first surviving colony was Jamestown, Virginia, in 1606. The 13 original colonies were Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Do you hear how the punctuation guides my voice? If I see a full stop, I stop. If I see a comma, I slow down a little bit, but I don't stop. And that's the purpose of punctuation. Remember when I read it this way? I won't do that again, but remember how that sounded. This sounds much better because it is written with punctuation. I do want you to check your capital letters on this because there are so many of them. Let's just be sure I'm going to highlight all of the places that need capitals. so that you make sure you got all of them in there. We covered a lot of new rules in this chapter, so there are a lot of new capital letters. Jamestown, Virginia, the names of all the colonies. Okay, so everywhere that I have highlighted in yellow, you should have a capital letter. Just double check that and be sure that you've got them all in there. And I missed one. It's very easy to overlook them. So just be sure that you've got all of those capital letters in there. I'm going to highlight the commas for you. You need one there, 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 and there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 13 colonies, so 12 commas. That fits. And then don't forget your full stops. Let me highlight those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this very long paragraph only has 5 sentences. That's because of that list of colonies that took up so much room. But 3 sentences in a paragraph is good. You need at least 3. And this one has 5, so we're in very good shape. I do want you to make sure that you did an indent here at the beginning. An indentation, I guess, is the correct word. Make sure that you have that space there when you start a paragraph. That's very important. If you have any questions on any of this material, please don't hesitate to call me. I will be glad to help you with it if you need some more assistance. But we have completed this writing exercise, and I will see you in the next video for some fun stuff. We're going to, I believe, look at a map of our colonies and do some fun things with that. So hopefully you'll find that interesting. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.